Pankaj Murarka, so far so good. Are we in? We had a good Diwali. Do you think the party will continue till Christmas? Are we in for more of the same what we've seen in the month of November, which is one-sided, clean run with no interruption?
Well, Christmas has come early for equity markets this year. So clearly it's been a great time. Markets are susceptible to pullbacks. See, the rise has been ferocious in the last 9 months. Markets are up by something like over 60% from the lows, and individual names are higher by significantly higher. We've seen a significant surge of liquidity coming into the market this month. The FI flows itself aggregates to something like $7 billion. I still think that we are in the early phase of a bull market. Like every other bull market, we'll have corrections at some point of time. So they can be pullbacks, but otherwise I think the construct of the bull market remains very much in place.
What are you doing in this market? Are you making hay while the sun shines, which is you're fully invested, enjoying the momentum and flows, or it's time to think and look outside the window and start raising cash?
You're absolutely right. So we've actually not been doing much because there's nothing much for us to do in this market, because we've been fairly fully invested into this market right from the early stages of this rally, right in April, May. And we generally do not churn our portfolio meaningfully. So we are slightly more laid back investors. So we've just been sitting back and just observing markets and observing things as they evolve, kind of thing. And we are certainly not looking to raise cash. I think we are, from our point of view, our investment horizon is slightly more medium term to long term. So even if there's a pullback where, let's say, markets correct by 5 or 10%, we are okay with that. We are happy to ride that volatility because we are taking a slightly more medium term view. And when we look at markets from a prism of 1 year and beyond, we still remain constructive or positive on the outlook for equities and for the economy. So we are not looking to raise cash, and I think we have the stomach to digest the volatility.
Sure. Pankaj, what we're seeing today is a fair amount of excitement within the gas stocks, especially after the PNGRB notifications which were issued. We spoke with PNGRB chairperson as well, DK Saraf, and he said that prices for consumers will come down, more industrial customers in fertilizers and other sectors will only add to gas usage. Net, very positive commentary coming in, and that it will also mean a unified gas pricing for the entire country. Do you think there is merit in looking at these names?
So I think there was an overhang of this whole policy over the last 6-8 months on the whole sector, and now that the final policy is out, at least the hangover is done away with. And some of the fears that the street was having that the policy could be adversarial to the existing incumbents actually has not been the case. The policy is fairly constructive, I think, in the sense that it facilitates long-term growth of the sector. All of us understand that gas is just about under 5% of India's fuel consumption, and if we want to de-risk ourselves and economy and as a country from oil, then probably we need to move towards gas, and it's a much cleaner fuel and probably a cheaper alternative to oil as well. And if the government has to stay on its course in terms of achieving 15% mix of gas in our whole energy basket, then you need policies that support increased usage of gas. And I think the policy takes care of that, and in the probably it will, I think, encourage and accelerate investments in the sector as a whole, and at the same time the incumbents will not be adversely impacted. So I think the rally today is clearly a reflection of the hangover that the sector was having over the last 6-8 months. There's nothing negative for the incumbents, and I certainly think that from a slightly more medium-term perspective, I think the prospects for the gas economy in India are really exciting, because be it the CGD players or the consumption of gas in terms of having more CNG vehicles on the road, I think more and more cities will have to adopt to, as we move away from fossil fuels, we'll have to move to gas and at some point of time in the future to EVs.